Welcome to Kingsbridge Heights Community Center. Welcome to our garden tour. I'm so excited to have you in the space tonight. My name is Jerry Sherman and I'm the horticultural therapist and garden program coordinator here at KHCC. I'm fortunate enough to get to work with all of our programs, from our youngest kids to our teens, special needs youth, trauma survivors and more, and engage them in garden and nutrition activities. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'll be introducing you to a bunch of my co-workers, including buzzing bees, a wonderful community gardener, the powerful force behind our food pantry, our dynamic animal-assisted therapy duo, and our inquisitive and wonderful teens. But first, why are we all here tonight? Fundraising, right? We're fundraising to support all the programs we do here at KHCC. Due to COVID-19, we can't have our traditional in-person events, and that is leading us to a shortfall of nearly $300,000. We need your support tonight and always so we can serve the community to our highest standard, especially during these difficult times. So thank you for already purchasing tickets to the event. How else can you help tonight? You can click the donate button at any time. No matter how big or small your donation, it will go far. You can also text to give at any point by sending KHCC to 41444, followed by your name and the amount you'd like to donate. For the sake of time for all of us tonight, we won't be doing a live question and answer segment, but we do want to hear from you, okay? So please send any of your questions or comments via email to development@khcc-nyc.org. or get in touch on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we love talking to our followers. How about we settle in with a cocktail? I know I could use one. So one of our board members, Michael Armstrong, sometimes referred to as the Cocktail Council, is here tonight to mix up a few drinks, 2 cocktails and a mocktail, with ingredients fresh from our garden. So the recipes have been shared online, and hopefully you're mixing them up at home too. He's joined by Margaret Della, our fantastic and fearless executive director, on the lawn in our community park. Let's check it out.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to KHCC. I'm Margaret Della.
I'm Michael Armstrong, aka the Cocktail Council.
We're so thrilled that you can join us tonight. So Michael's gonna lead us, and we're just gonna, fill you in on what we've been catching up about KHCC. Michael, what drew you to KHCC as a board member, or as you were considering being a board member?
Okay, so a colleague and friend, a mutual friend of ours, referred me to KHCC because you were looking for a board member, and I was actually just looking for ways to give back, looking for ways to work with you, connect with people in the area, and just be a resource any way I could, and connect people. I'm an attorney, so I also work at the courts just to connect people to those resources if they need it. It was just the right time, like I saw it as a need that could be fulfilled. The board needed someone who's an attorney on there for compliance purposes. And it just highlighted an importance for me, I can come in and not only help right away, but also begin making an impact with, the membership, the youth, and everyone else.
Yeah, and I don't think that it was too easy of a first meeting anyway. It was like knee deep into very specific, detailed compliance issues. here are your obligations as a board. Here's your obligations as a provider of federal dollars to the community.
There was also a sense of togetherness. You know, everyone that was in the room was there to ensure that programs were being funded, that the youth and parents were being taken care of, and it was just a very community aspect, and towards just being a success. And I'm all about that. I'm all about that.
The board rolls up its sleeves, gets involved, helps bring in resources, helps us make better decisions, and connecting us with people who maybe know more about specific topics.
Right.
You as an attorney, you have a different skill set and a mindset of how I might consider something. So it's so worthwhile and valuable to have someone like you and other board members come on. As a mixologist, what makes you excited about using ingredients from the KHCC garden?
It felt really good and therapeutic to me to know that this is literally right from my backyard, and that I could use it to make things that generally people probably wouldn't think to combine these things, and put them in a drink and consume it.
At KHCC, we're all about play and creativity and utilizing both of those aspects to find therapy or find release or relief.
Life is still here to be lived. We have to go to work, we have to wear masks and deal with the pandemic, but there's still joy and beauty, and I think being in this garden and using these fresh ingredients enhances that.
I mean, do we want to take that to church real quick?
Amen. Somebody pass the plate around. Or just click donate.
Or just click donate. So, all right. So I am your barback?
Barback, sous
chef. You're the mixologist, so I'll let you take the lead.
Okay.
What do we do first?
All right. So first we're going to make a tomato and basil gimlet. A gimlet is traditionally a very spirit-forward drink using gin and lime juice and some simple syrup. But we're using tomato and basil, fresh from the garden. So we're going to start with our rocks glass here. And you are going to pick about 6 to 8 basil leaves.
Okay.
And you're going to prep our glass here. You're going to muddle them in the glass. So I'll wait for you to pick those.
Okay.
And while you do that, I will just add the contents of the cocktail to our cocktail shaker.
Okay.
So this is our tomato syrup. I'm going to shake it up. I made this using tomatoes from the garden, honey from the garden, and basil leaves. And also about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning just to enhance the flavor. So I'm going to use about 3.5 ounces. That's 2. It's about 4. That's good.
You happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Thank you. We're also going to have about 3/4 of lime juice. So it's just about 1 wedge. Just give that a good squeeze. Okay. And of course, we're going to add our gin. I'm using Carnaby's dry gin. It's a London dry gin, but it's made in Maryland. Go figure. I'm going to use about 2 ounces. Let's go 2.5. Okay. And we're going to add ice. And we're going to also ice up our glass. Garnish in there, lime slice, and then we're going to shake. And strain. I really like the color.
Yeah.
And how it gives it that redness because of the tomato.
Yeah. That's so creative.
Right, we're also, it's all from KHC's garden. All from KHC's garden. We're going to take a basil leaf.
The prettiest one, of course.
Right. On the glass for more flavor. Put that right on the top. Serve with a smile.
Totally.
We're gonna go right into our second one, which is a watermelon spicy martini.
Cool.
So we're gonna like put some ice in here to like let our glasses chill. It's just like a little trick if you don't have a fridge nearby, like we do not. So first, we have about 2.5 to 3 ounces of our syrup here. I'm gonna give it a shake. This is made with serrano peppers, mint, and KHCC honey.
Did you make that yourself?
I made both syrups myself. I'm very excited about it. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself though, because first what I really want to do is muddle mint leaves in the strainer here. So I'm going to take off. So I'm going to muddle some mint right in the shaker to try to help bring that flavor out. Then I'm going to add about 3 ounces of this pepper here. So that's 2, 3. I'm also going to add some watermelon chunks, about 5 or 6. That's good. 5. I'm going to muddle that also to get the watermelon juice. Alright, that's good. And then of course I'm going to add gin. About 2.5 ounces should be good. So that's 2.5. The traditional martini is gin or vodka with dry vermouth. Another very spirit-forward drink, but I really like the fact that we're making this one sweet and adding some watermelon to it because it just tastes so good. Add some ice. And we're going to strain this along with our fine strainer right into the glass. Now with mint, you give it a little slap just to try to bring the flavor out.
I didn't know that.
Alright, right on the glass. You can even smell it.
I'm gonna have to start following you on Instagram now.
Please do. Right there. And we're serving that with a smile also.
Wow.
And for the
the bumblebee
and
for
the
added
bees.
effect. Okay.
Okay.
And now we're just, you know, these are just KHCC bragging rights. Now it's just really turning on the charm.
And now for our mocktail, for the young folks, 21 and under, we're gonna make a watermelon mojito. So traditional mojito, lime juice, rum, simple syrup, and the mint. Can't forget that. So we're gonna do the same thing, minus the rum, of course. I'm just gonna take a few mint leaves, not a lot. Right? I'm gonna add the watermelon. And I'm gonna muddle that. That's good. We're gonna go with about 1 ounce of lime juice. Squeeze here. Squeeze there. Right. We're gonna add ice. We're gonna give that. This is my bar spoon. Here we go. So we'll turn. And then we're going to fill with club soda.
That looks so refreshing.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, if you have a child that doesn't like mint, this could be a way to get them to try it out. And of course, the watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon is like such a treat in the summer. It's one of the best things in the world.
Right, and then we have grenadine, just cherry syrup, non-alcoholic.
Just for a little flair.
Right. And you know kids love something sweet, so we're going to go a little overboard with that. Right. You can even churn it up some more to make sure they get all the flavors mixed in. Even add some more ice on the top.
Pretty.
And a straw.
Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, I know you were wondering where all these items gonna go. You know, what happens to all these things?
Yes. What happens to the honey? What happens to the tomato? Please tell us.
Well, the honey is for sale. To be shameless. The honey is for sale, and we actually have a honey hive on our roof. So it is a Bronx-based born honey that we create, bottle, all at KHCC. So that's something that you can purchase and we will send to you, or if you're local, we'll come and drop it off for you. And then a lot of the other produce that we have at KHCC, like the basil we sell, we have compost bins where we accept local compost. We have lettuce that goes to our food pantry. We have hot peppers that we already said goes to the Bronx hot sauce. And there's many community plots all around us. So the reach of all that KHCC does, not only in its programs and services, but everything we do and create has a length that goes far beyond what we can imagine. And we can all do this through your support, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you, quite honestly. So Michael, thank you for being creative, bringing us a bit of whimsy. Thank you for your due diligence and compliance and all the fun things of being a board member and having some fun tonight.
Yes.
Well-rounded.
Thank you for having Margaret, and I look forward to being a board member and being at other events and just helping out any way I can.
Thank you so much. All right, well, I can't keep Jerry away from this drink for too long. Jerry, what do you say? You want to join us for a drink?
I'm already enjoying one over here, and it is delicious. This is the sweet and spicy one, and I love a spicy cocktail, but I think that the simple syrup made with the KHCC honey gives it a really different twist. So, Margaret mentioned those bees, and I bet you guys want to meet them. Honey is delicious, of course, but it's also really good in wellness products. It's kind of nature's cure-all. It has antibacterial properties. But instead of listening to me talk about bees all day, let's check out some footage and you can hear from our beekeeper, Flynn.
Did you know that the Bronx has more parkland than any other borough? That's right, 25% of the Bronx is parkland. Honeybees know this and they love it. That's why Bronx honey is the best tasting honey in New York City. It's made with honeybee love. In this video, we are inspecting frames from the rooftop hives above the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center garden. We are checking if the frames are ready to be harvested for honey. Unfortunately, none of these frames were ready, so we returned them for the bees to continue working on. They should be ready in about another 2 weeks, and the neighborhood will have sweet, golden, sticky, yummy honey to enjoy. Honeybees will forage 3 to 5 miles from their hive. This makes the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center garden their first resource. As the bees forage for pollen and nectar, they help pollinate the plants and trees in the garden. This helps increase the amount and quality of food that the garden provides for the neighborhood. Honeybees are an important part of the pollination cycle. Many of our country's crops would not exist without the honeybee's contribution during bloom time. 1 out of every 3 bites of food you eat is because of honeybee pollination. So when you notice a friendly neighborhood honeybee is buzzing around you, she's just admiring the smell of your perfumes, lotion, and hair products. She means you no harm and will buzz off as soon as she realizes you're not a flower. Just give her a friendly good day greeting and a little thank you, and she will go about her daily work of helping to bring you delicious food from the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center garden.
Our Aren't the bees incredible? It's been one of the highlights of my summer to learn about beekeeping from Flynn and then getting to reteach it to our campers and teen interns. Speaking of the bees, have you purchased your honey yet? I helped harvest it and I can guarantee it's delicious. Another way you can support us tonight, besides purchasing jars of honey, is by donating any amount, big or small. You can do that at any time by clicking the donate button or texting to give. You simply send KHCC to 41444, followed by your name and the amount you'd like to donate. Now, as a horticultural therapist, I encourage people to find solace and space in nature. It's important to be able to nurture something living, even if it's a house plant, to learn from your successes of a new leaf growing or a delicious tomato you've grown from a seed. And it's also important to learn to cope from your failures. I know that I've had plenty this summer from bug infestations and the storms that we've had come through. So it's been very therapeutic for me to work with plants and hopefully for our community gardeners as well. Remember, you can donate at any time tonight by pressing the donate button or texting KHCC to 41444. So my first program here was with our respite group. So that's special needs youth and young adults, and all of their programming has been remote and is still remote. But through weekly sessions, they've been able to see the garden growing. They sorely miss being here, but they've been able to see it through photos I take. We also learn about nature-related topics, all kinds of bugs and flowers and composting. And I recently got to sit down with a couple of our participants to talk about it. Hi guys, hi Emmanuel and Jose. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good, and you?
I'm good. I know it's hard learning over the computer, right? What's the hardest part?
Participating with others.
Right, it's hard to make sure that you're doing stuff as a team, right? Because you're all in different places.
Yeah.
But are you glad that we have sessions on the computer anyway?
Yes. I can't wait to go back to school.
I know you can't wait to go back. I can't wait to meet you guys in person. But what are some of the things we've been learning about during our virtual sessions?
About plants. And
what kind of plants?
different types of insects.
What kind of insects?
Ants and bugs.
And how to take care of plants.
Watering the plants.
We do a lot of drawing, right? Can you show us some of your drawings?
Yeah. Who's
that?
Bees.
Bees. Yes, that's a good bee. You're an excellent drawer, Jose.
Thank you.
It looks really good. Emmanuel, what drawings do you have to show us?
The lead look and the flower too.
Is that from when we did our dream gardens?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you really, really miss about being in the garden?
Carrots.
Carrots? They were your favorite to grow? Did you grow them from seeds?
Yeah.
And you would pick them and eat them right there on the spot?
Yeah.
Emmanuel, how about you? Is there a fruit or vegetable you miss growing in the garden?
Tomato and eggplant.
Tomatoes and eggplant, yum. Thank you guys so much for talking with me today. You were great. I'll see you next week for our regular group, okay?
Okay.
Bye, Jose.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Remember, you can donate at any time by texting KHCC to 41444, followed by your name and the amount you'd like to contribute. Your contribution tonight could go towards our amazing respite program, including those kids that we just spoke with. Another place where I've spent a bunch of time this summer is in our amazing food pantry, where I've helped unload deliveries, and let me tell you, it's a real workout. Huge thanks to all of you who have supported us over the summer to meet the needs of our community. The unfortunate truth is that with COVID, the increase for food security in our neighborhood has only increased. Let's go meet Cesar and Will, and we'll see how they've expanded our services to meet the need.
As someone who spent their entire life in Kingsbridge and around the area, food access means the world to me. I know that without food, people like students do not do as well in school, and with everything hectic that's going on, families still have to eat. We are doing what we can.
During COVID-19, we've seen a massive increase in need for food and for green space. The amazing staff at Kingsbridge Heights Community Centre have been working tirelessly to make sure the community has the resources they need.
Within the pandemic, we've seen numbers drift dramatically. At the start of the pandemic back in March, we were only getting around 20 people a day, and last week we were seeing numbers of up to 150 people a day coming through our doors to get meals. While we get reports of a flood warning, thunderstorms, or like heat advisories, people are still coming in to get the food that they need.
A large part of our population has lost their jobs and has no income coming in. So the KHCC community, which has been pretty hard hit by coronavirus, we've been working very diligently to make sure that our community is feeling secure, is feeling safe, and feeling supported through the food pantry.
Who's the people that's benefiting? It's the elderly, the couples that live right around the corner. It's some of our younger couples that live right down the block who are undocumented. And some of them are people that have lived in the neighborhood their entire lives. Some of our other participants would have to take multiple buses and trains. For their safety, we'd much rather deliver the food to them. On Tuesdays, we'd send a week's worth of food in the forms of various non-perishables, perishables, cooked foods, in order to make sure that they still have something to eat.
One thing I've really seen is our donor base really get behind KHCC at this time. People have been repeatedly donating for the last 4 months, sending messages of support to our community and to our staff, and really digging deep when they are also affected by COVID. But
donations are one of the most important things because your dollars are directly going into the actual purchasing of food itself, especially with food prices rising. We'd rather someone not think about where I'm going to get a next meal, but rather here's a hot meal that you can eat, and here is non-perishables that you can have, here's produce that you can have, so you can also cook and take power back into your own hands. Every donation allows us to scale up more to make sure that we have better produce and better products for our participants, because we understand at the end of the day, people still need to eat, and every dollar makes sure that someone else eats.
As I said before, food security is an ongoing need in our community. Thanks so much to all of you who have supported us so far, and remember, you can contribute tonight. I'd also like to thank our incredible team of volunteers and staffers who keep the pantry running each day. Next, let's talk about alternative therapies, horticultural therapy included. Therapeutic horticulture programming here at KHCC involves working in the garden, nature crafts, and even caring for houseplants and some aromatherapy. There are so many benefits for our participants, including nutrition and wellness education, being able to see a process from beginning to end, and plenty of metaphors for self-care. Alternative therapies allow us to learn and grow in less obvious and unconventional ways. Let's meet Wendy and Buddy from our Changing Futures program to talk a bit more about animal-assisted therapy.
It's something that I've always wanted to do my whole life. I knew that I wanted to practice animal-assisted therapy, and this center has been incredibly supportive since my first day as an intern. I introduced the idea of opening up an animal-assisted therapy program, and because of KHCC's support, we've been able to start from scratch. Buddy is my own personal emotional dog, so I'm able to utilize him with other people. Well, we are trauma-focused mental health department. That means that the participants that arrive to our center have experienced traumatic experiences or are currently in a traumatic situation. Having a dog present allows them to feel at ease and to feel comfortable and confident and comfort enough to be able to speak of their trauma. So when a client or myself begin to cry, he right away goes up to you and starts kissing and licking your tears. That can mean the world to someone that has not received love or attention or has felt safe in a very long time. He's an emotional support dog. He just has to be himself. Definitely the coronavirus did affect how we practice animal-assisted therapy. So we've had to adapt where it has to be virtual, and the clients have been missing on the tactile benefits of it. They haven't been able to receive his hugs and his kisses, and it's hard for me to keep his attention steady. Changing Futures is planning on returning back to our offices as of September, so Buddy will be returning back to work. His amount of clients will be limited, being that it's only 1 day a week for now, but once that starts increasing, then he'll go back to his regular caseload of 20 plus participants a week. Changing Futures is one of the mental health agencies where we do not charge. We do not charge Medicaid or cash or any of that, and we provide long-term therapy services. So it would be incredibly helpful if we receive fundraising, which will be utilized to continue to provide free services to our community. We do not charge for our therapeutic services, and with the more funding, the more participants we can actually heal in the process.
Isn't Buddy adorable? I'm a fan of alternative therapies, of course, but I'm also a huge dog lover. I've got 4 of them at home. But it's really incredible to learn more about how the trauma survivors respond to Buddy and are able to open up more to Wendy in their sessions. Next on our tour, I am so excited to introduce you to some of our incredible paid teen interns. We had 22 of them over the summer, and they worked on things like civic engagement projects and some college and career prep. But my favorite part, they got to work in community gardens, 4 of them in the neighborhood, including here at KHCC. The one cohort I was lucky enough to have in our garden spent some time talking to me on the last day of their internship. Before we hear from them, remember you can donate at any time by clicking the donate button or texting us. So guys, what are you harvesting right now?
Right now we're harvesting the serrano peppers.
Are they spicy or sweet peppers?
Spicy peppers.
And how do you know when they're ready to harvest?
When it's size of 2 or 3 inches or like size of a thumb.
Could you show me one that you're picking?
Yep.
So it's the size of your thumb, right? Yeah. So about 2 to 3 inches, and they haven't changed color yet.
Yeah, right. They don't change color.
Do you guys know why we grow so many hot peppers here?
Because we sell them to local businesses to get extra money for KHCC.
That's right. So we have a collaboration with Small Axe Peppers to make Bronx hot sauce. So the work you're doing now, harvesting these peppers, is helping bring in some money for the community center. How does that make you feel?
That makes us feel accomplished because we're the ones that nurtures the peppers and make sure that they're well grown, and we pick all of them. So the more we take care of the plants, the more peppers that we get, and that means more money comes to the community center.
What else do we have here?
We have basil.
Basil that you guys planted, right?
Yes.
It's beautiful and it smells good, right? Do you guys think that you will garden more going forward?
Yeah, I'm gonna garden more. When I'm gonna start gardening in my house.
Yeah.
Like, around my windows. Yeah, like,
what do you think you're gonna grow?
Tomatoes for sure, and cucumbers. Those are my favorite.
Cool. How about you, Mohammed?
I'm gonna grow sunflower. I really like them.
Is there anything that you don't want to do again?
Weeding for sure, but it's necessary because our plants are organic, so we can't use any like pesticides or anything like that to keep the bugs off. It was really worth it. Like, these basil is healthy and everything, so I guess weeding was a part of us like taking care of the plant, because that's a part of what this is about, as it's like therapy.
Thank you guys for all your hard work.
No problem.
It's been awesome. Keep harvesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what's your favorite thing you've found in the garden?
My favorite thing I found is tomatillos. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find one.
Please do. Nice. How did you know that one was ready to harvest?
Well, mainly because like the skin, right? Or I guess
like the papery shell?
Yeah, the papery shell was already opening by itself before I even pulled it, as you can see. So then, once it has more or less like a lot of weight to it, it's pretty good.
What does it taste like? Give us a bite.
Let's see.
Can you compare it to anything?
At first it tastes like a tomato, but then it tastes like a fruit in the middle. So it's like a hybrid, I guess you could say.
Do you think that you'd plant them at home?
Yeah, definitely. So that way I can eat some when I'm bored.
Cool. So maybe next summer you'll have a tomatillo only garden?
Well, maybe not only tomatillos, but
what else would you grow?
Some basil, because I know basil grows pretty quick. My mom could use it. I guess it's opened me up to trying new things, because when it's fresh, you know that nothing has been extra, like no extra stuff has been done to it. So since we have an organic garden, I could try it and I don't have to worry about any like extra chemicals added.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to finish this tomatillo.
You finished that tomatillo. Thank you, Nico. Thanks for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Yeah, what was one of your favorite things that you learned about in the garden over the past few weeks?
I learned about different types of tomato and like knowing when to like take them to pick them out, etc.
How do you know when a tomato is ready to harvest?
Well, depending on the type of tomato, you will see based on the color and size, I believe. Yeah.
So you have to kind of know the plant before you know when the fruit's ready to be picked?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite kind that we grew here?
The new one that we picked that was kind of like pink. It was like the first one.
Yeah, we had some tomatoes that were volunteers. I don't know what kind they were. They planted themselves, but they were small and pink and pretty sweet and delicious.
They were nice.
What else do you have to do to a tomato plant to maintain it?
Well, you have to water it. Yes, you have to clean. You have to like put support so it can grow up.
Right, support is really important so they can grow in the direction you want them to grow in. Do you think you'll garden going forward? Do you think you're going to plant some tomato seeds next year?
Yeah, I think I learned like a lot. Like I didn't know a lot about it now, but I learned. Yes, I think I'll probably do some garden stuff.
You've come around to gardening.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's cool.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Hey, Lewis, what was your favorite thing about being in the garden over the past 6 weeks?
My favorite thing was making this compost bin.
How did we make it? What did we use?
We used a few planks that we had laying around. We also used a few nails. Well, not a few, we used a lot of nails.
A lot of nails. We upcycled pallets.
Yeah, pallets. And then we used a drill, which was fun to use too. And that's it.
So we have a lot of garden waste we want to compost, and we also want to start collecting from the community.
Yeah.
So we need to expand a bit. Did you think that doing a little construction project would be part of the gardening portion of your internship?
No.
No? Were you
I wasn't expecting it.
Were you happily surprised?
I was happily surprised because like I like gardening, but you know, it was kind of cool actually doing something like constructing something. So yeah.
So you even told me today that you're gardening at home now, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing at home?
I started small. I started growing tomatoes and things like that. I also started growing peppers with my dad.
Cool.
So yeah.
Way to bond, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
I've loved having those kids in the garden. Some quiet space to do work is nice, but this garden, our main garden, really comes alive when it's full of hustle and bustle and activity and other people to share it with. In a normal situation, we have over 170 participants from all of our programs coming through weekly for food literacy and garden education. But as you've seen throughout our tour tonight, we grow more than produce here. It's a space for abuse survivors, special needs youth, school-age kids, and teenage interns to connect with nature, to feel calm and relaxed, and even learn important life skills. What are some things we've grown here? A big hit this summer, my absolute favorite, are these bumblebee cherry tomatoes. We've also got some ground cherries down here, which are a little different in our neck of the woods. So those are fun to teach the kids about. And sunflowers, they're an always favorite for everyone. They make everyone smile. On behalf of all of us here at KHCC, I'd love to thank you for joining us and for your ongoing support. It's what makes all of our work here possible. Remember, you can text and donate via the button tonight, or you can donate at any time on our regular website. We look forward to hosting more virtual events in the future, and we want to thank you for your support and generosity always.